Howdy howdy, so this is JacobJoyGames, and now I'm going to be looking at some Open TTD. So, what is Open TTD? Well, it's a kind of an interesting little game that you can get for free. I don't know what the TTD stands for. I think it's something about like Open Transport Tycoon something rather. But obviously it's kind of got an older feel to it, something like a Micro Prose game or similar in design. So we're actually going to make a new world here. Here's the world generation and all that. You can choose the maximum map height, the date that you start at, number of industries, and all sorts of good stuff. So we're just gonna slap the generate and it makes a whole new world for you to play with. So the point of this game is to really transport goods and people all around the island or the landmass here between cities to make a profit. So one of the easiest ways to actually do that is to simply, well, make trains. So here we are. We've got stations here under the train tab, so that's where all of our trains going to come from. And then we're going to make a rail line. So you can't really just press R and have it rotate. You're going to have to specifically tell it, hey, I want you to rotate, and I want you to do it like this. Oh dear. Let's turn that down. So while we're building this, there's a couple of rules you gotta realize. First, money is a thing. So you gotta make sure you're not gonna spend too much money or else you'll go broke. And there is supply and demand. So obviously, you can look at these and you can see, okay, it demands passengers, mail, and goods. Same with this guy. So in order to actually take advantage of this demand, you're going to make a train depot. New vehicle. Just choose a random train. I don't know, this one looks okay. And we're going to throw some passenger cars on this. And a couple mail cars. And then we click the little arrow. We click this station. Click this station. And go for it. Alright. Let's actually turn the volume down a little bit, shall we? And of course, people are super excited and all that. So, the first run with these trains and whatnot, they don't pick up any passengers because now they have to tell the station to actually fill up. But now we can see that there's about 43 passengers and 8 bags of mail that are lining up ready to go to Flendingworth. And you'll see the train go all the way. You can speed it up. They'll come back. And here's the train again. So we can click on it and see how many people it's got on there. So it's going to load up all the passengers that it can. You can see it has a maximum capacity of 240 passengers and 60 bags of mail. So now it's going to leave off. And it's going to arrive at the station to make a profit. And you can see the profit this year is not been making anything. It's actually been costing us quite a bit in the year previous. And you can see the running cost too, which is about $4,000. And we accelerate a little bit again. And then here we are, starting to unload. Now it'll take a little bit of time for it to unload and load, but it's usually not too long. And then it's loading up again, and then we made $15,000. Excellent. So everything we just did, we're still making money on it. And then off it goes. So that's really one of the simplest ways to make money. You can also use buses. So we just open up the roads, bring it over here, sort of extend it. And there we are. Just add a little road surface like there. And then right here perhaps. And it's just the same thing. New vehicle, bus. Boom. And here as well. And you tell it to go. it'll be exactly like the train. It'll take care of it. Now, obviously, there's more than passengers. You can also transport coal. So you see this produces 135 tons of coal per month. And then that coal needs to go to a power station, which is right over here. And you can click on display chain, coal mine, coal, power plant. Great. So there's so many more things into this. There's oil and the oil refineries. There's also planes. Planes are pretty simple. There's boats. Really any sort of method of transportation aside from actually just carrying it with a dolly will exist in this game. You can make complex transport networks where you have to take iron ore to a steel facility to make steel, transport that to a factory to make goods, and take those goods and put them into a city. Ultimately, your goal is to survive as a company and make as much money as possible. Your secondary goals could be to make the towns grow. So you see that my train is running between these two. This one's not growing, but this one is. And the reason for that is most of the time when you've got passenger lines going, the higher population city will go to the lower population city and sort of spread out. And that's pretty good. There's tons of other things here. There's a graph to see how much you're making. There is this transport finances here. You can also go into the cities, see how you're doing. So right now I'm doing pretty good. You can run advertising campaigns and all sorts of other things. Now this game is multiplayer, which makes it especially fun when you try to do some sort of corporate sabotage, in that you basically have to make a company that's so much better at transporting stuff, people will flock to that instead of the others. So really, this is kind of just a bare bones thing. You can find this for free. It is totally open source, so you can download the source code and mess with it to your will. There's also free music that you can get from this. There's free graphics. I mean, these graphics, they're not great, but they look pretty good. You can get different graphic sets and different music as well. So there's tons of different things for you to do and tons of other things that you can change about this game. So anyways, this has been Open TTD, bare bones. If you're interested in it, I will put a link down below for you to discover it for yourself. And as always, it's your choice to be offended.